Welcome, Sergey. Sergey is an organizer of this year Euroku, and he's doing an incredible job uh, around that. He's speaking in multiple conferences through that and multiple meetups, and he came to us and gave us also a presentation. He's CEO of Cybergazer, and welcome.
Where is the bed?
Yes, it's difficult that time. The one bad is that you haven't come yesterday for before party, but we'll handle it today. But from our meetup, there was a funny situation, I can say. As I mentioned, Sergey is CEO, and he came with the presentation about trunk-based development. And after the presentation, he stands in front of the whiteboard and arguing with the CTO of Cybergazer about it's cool, no, it's shitty, it's cool, it's shitty, fuck the shit, and they are arguing each other. It was kind of funny that you have different perspective and that he's still working with you. So yeah, that's it. Maybe we will find something today. Good luck.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me here. Yeah, it's a very nice. I enjoy getting on a stage and bringing some topics to the audience, and it turns to be that people don't want to have me on the stage most of the time, and I'm usually sending CFPs. I'm trying to get into the lightning talks, and those who don't know me, they kind of for the first time they trust and get me on the stage like this one, but after a few times they usually never accept CFP. So probably this is gonna be the last one for me. So thank you much. I'm gonna enjoy as much as I can be in here. So maybe it's because of Yuruko. I don't know. In any case, who would care? So yeah, the idea behind this topic. So the whole story about this conference, it's kind of a fuck ups. So and the presentation is not success story at all. So if you're waiting to see how to do legacy app refactoring, you won't get anything from this talk. It's really about it, but there is nothing valuable you can get out of it. Just to be fair. The second one, I thought the conference is supposed to be yesterday. So I got up in the morning okay, this is the conference day. I need to finish up my slides. So then I realized it is not. And I've started doing the slides. And as always, it happens. If you think you have one more day, you can get rest. So, okay, I'm going to have the whole day tomorrow. And tomorrow in the morning, I realized that the topic I submitted, it's different that I was working on. So I was working on the topic how to do Rails upgrade with ChatGPT, and then I opened legacy app refactoring. Fuck, it's different. So what if we start with refactoring and they say, okay, Rails upgrade is part of refactoring. Then now let's see how we do Rails upgrade. Okay, so it's completely, everything that could go wrong really did that way. Yeah, so I still use Twitter. I wanted to hijack Nick's, it's still available, he's right. So you can easily register on his name and do some posts. I wanted to do that before this talk, I didn't have time. So maybe after the talk, if we're not getting too much drunk, we can cyber squat his Twitter name. Yeah, I work for Cybergizer. Nobody says the name of the company right. In any country with no regards to the language, nobody can pronounce it right, but the idea was simple, like Energizer, the battery. This is Cybergizer, so something like the battery that you can use. Who cares? So legacy code and legacy application. I really like this slide. Maybe I use it in most of my slides, and this is the motto for developers. We do something that should outlast us, something that we can be proud of, something that can be, the reason to show to your kids. And it happened that I was working on the project 10 years back that I actually was junior developer on that. And that was the possibility to look through my commits. And when I started this like proposal, I thought that I will bring my own, like my very first production project with all the GitHub history, with all my commits 10 years back. And it's actually working now. And like we do some, funny stuff, refactoring. And then I decided not to do that because it's like really shitty code from my side. And I thought like, okay, maybe we take some community projects. So, but there is good examples, like not as me, but there is good examples of the code that really committed to the history. So like this picture shows the pile of books that Margaret created in order to launch the spaceship. And it goes well, like it's the code that all human society proud of. And I couldn't find any other example of that. So the niche is open. So if you write your code, you can be standing next to Margaret. There is a book, and there is many of different approaches how to work with legacy code. I'm not going to talk about that, as I said, but just a quick highlights and a few definitions. Like this one, I think the best one. So the book says about tests. So the book says like legacy code, it's really the code that doesn't have test coverage. I think it's not quite right. So for me, legacy code, it's something that nobody understands, or you personally do not understand freely or fully, and you cannot change it as you wish. And if you cannot change it as you wish, it takes too much energy for you to dig deeper, and you say like, let's write it from scratch. So let's throw it away and create it from scratch. And here comes the fundamental law of programming that like everybody love write code and nobody really like to read it. So you're not laying in bed at night reading like pull requests from your team. Oh wow, that's such a good method. Okay, let's read a few more pull requests. Like, honey, are you coming? No, like just a few more. Wait a little bit. So nobody really likes to read code, even though we often like to read something. So another one is that like legacy code really, like if you inherit it from like legacy, if you inherit it from your grandparents, like a house or fortune, you're really proud of like, this is my legacy. It's like the picture or a sofa or bank account and money. But if you inherited code from previous developer, you don't really like proud of it. Like you don't really like it. Like Chris said, like when you're going to the interview, you're asking questions, right? So you ask, how old is your code base? And say, like, we have very rich code base with 10 years legacy applications. Like, wow, I'm a lucky one gonna be working on that. So code becomes legacy as soon as it's written. And that's kind of a true. So if in most of the cases, all code become legacy, how to do good legacy code? And I think that the main answer is like the code that brings value in a very good manner. So if people really committed to it, if it brings value, it stays unchanged in the application, it's valuable. And usually like products or business, they don't care. If it works, don't touch it. It's gonna outlast more. And there is part of the truth. And if we go to the analogy with like biological system or a human body, there is like a good point saying that we are humans couldn't be considered as legacy because we're dying. So we cannot outlast ourselves. But something that we create can be legacy. So we can create a painting, an architectural object or something, or we can create software. Then, next level, software cannot be legacy because it's also dying. There is no software that can stay forever. But the very important point that software, and now with all the AI stuff, can produce legacy. So software can potentially create something that can be valuable for everybody and stays longer. um, in order to maintain the bodies and like biological system, there is a mechanism for rebuilding ourselves, which is called autophagy. It means that we have a number of cells that dying in every like second and rebuilding itself. So we are last year and we are this year two completely, like not completely, but still two different sets of cells. They are constantly changing. And for the engineering system, that's a very good approach. Like if you think about like old ship, they are rebuilding often. So wood is getting in a bad conditions. And for example, like a ship that is 300 years old was completely rebuilt multiple times, but it's considered legacy and it's considered the same ship. So what is the analogy of this autophagy for software? And the answer is simple. It's refactoring. Refactoring and upgrades. We need to build applications that easily to change and maintain with like top level of everything that is happening and contributing. So that's the end of theoretical part. And here comes story from 10 years back. So I didn't bring the, as I said, the project, like my first paid Ruby project, but I found another one which is good. So like 10 years back, one event happened in Belarus. The Belarus Ruby on Rails user group was renamed just to Ruby user group, Belarus Ruby user group. So that was the split when the Rails guys went on one track and Ruby guys went on another track. And we, as part of this community, had our own website, brook.by. It was an official announcement, and I managed to find this site. So this is like, I just made the screenshots. I wasn't sure if internet is here, but you can see it from the README file. It has some instructions. So for some reason, it requires Java. I don't know why. That time, 10 years back, that was okay to use Java and Ruby. And here is like the code. And I thought, that's a very super cool, the best option we can have for this presentation, to have like community website. And my goal was to first get it up and running. Second, upgrade it as much as I can, doing like refactoring on the go. So let's get it running. First of all, I decided that's like easy one. So I don't do Rails upgrade often. I know that there is like a bunch of materials that I can use. I decided like to try first and then like read books or articles. I decided, why don't I install it from from my machine? It didn't work. I tried multiple times. It didn't work neither. And I decided, okay, I'm doing something wrong. I will highlight it. Because this guy said, everything that we do, we should do easy, fun, less stress, and to be happy. So doing this most of the day doesn't bring any joy and happiness. And the solution is easy. Let's use ChatGPT. It can help doing all this monkey job. And I can still enjoy giving ChatGPT commands how to run all the process with my legacy 10-year-old application. I've asked Chat, so okay, we have Ruby on Rails with following versions. I'm not gonna do like, it was like, we are friends with ChatGPT now, so I've spent a lot of time talking. So I know about his family, he knows about mine, so we send gifts to the kids' birthdays. So he gives me options, and options were good actually. So I used to use Vagrant before. That was like, okay, I know this stuff. I had my old Mac Mini, which is also could be suitable because it's Intel virtual machines. But I decided, okay, Docker, this is what all people do. Let's use Docker. So I asked Chat, okay, let's do Docker. Create me image. I will follow your commands. And Chat said, okay, let's do that. And he gave me this kind of example. It has a number of kind of weird things that didn't work from the first time, but in a week, in a week. I didn't do like full time for that, but a couple of days every week we've been chatting. I've asking, okay, it didn't work. Here's the exception, and chat give me like, try this Docker file, try that one. At the end, he said, okay, it looks like it's all too old. Let's build our own image with sources. Here is the link to Debian. Go. After some time, we make it work. I don't know if it's like, if you can see here, we managed to build an image. We managed to have a Docker Compose file, and we managed to run it. So just to prove it, I have it. It should run right now. So there we go. I had database as well. So if you would go on time, so you can see it's even like here. It's in Russian language, sorry. So it's 211. So all worked. That was like a really big win. I was so proud of myself. Like I told to my mom saying, hey mom, I'm getting back to coding. I can find another job, don't worry. So now, what about upgrades? I've never done that before, but I thought it's easy because I have ChatGPT. It works well. So let's do upgrade then. Then something weird happened because ChatGPT said, did you read this guide? That was the first. So what the point? You know it, you help me. I don't need to read any kind of a guides. Then he said, which version, like I said, from 3.2 to 4 to the closest. He said, there is like a particular guide, how to, do upgrades. And no, I'm not gonna do that. But when I asked, is there any tools? Chatix gives me another tool. He said, like, check your compatibility, like download, there's your gem file log, use this tool, and you can see if there's any issues. I've tested, it looks good. And I don't recall how I get to this one, but that was kind of a weird because I thought ChatGPT would give me solution like really quickly. Instead, he started giving like materials to read, tools to investigate, some like best practices to do. That was kind of a, okay, that's kind of interesting. The conference is in a couple of days, so let's do our business because otherwise we're not gonna have a case. Then this one happened, like maybe like not for 4.0, but to 5.2 because like GitHub did it before, so you can follow their guides. So thank you. And the last one weird was that he suggested to hire a team of professionals who know how to do that for sure. And he showed those guys. He said like they did like conferences, they had like a lot of materials, they have tools, list of their like commercial tools. He said, no, we do it by our own. Use ChatGPT to do it by our own to do Rails upgrade. I created like a really long introduction. So this is my first, like I paid for this like kind of a pro version to use 4.0. I really like thoroughly created setup. So we're gonna do this. And I was kind of wanted to make some fun because it's for the conference. And I thought like, if he's gonna call me like Lord of the Darkness and I will call him Gomp, it's gonna make some fun. So it started okay. So I gave him my gem file log. And he said, the Lord of the Dark, like all good. Like, what is your current Ruby version? And I say, okay, there we go. And here something weird happened because he didn't call me by the name. So there's no more Lord of the Darkness. Even though, no respect. Even though like he started, offering something, and then something more weird happening because he started like, I gave them instructions and instead he again started to giving me like some guidance. Wrong version, wrong tool set, something bad happened. I asked him like, please read carefully what I ask you to do and follow the instructions. That's the way we work together. Hold on, bear with me. He seems to be like getting to it's like kind of a serious stuff, but no go. At the end, I ask, is Grom here? No, he's not there anymore. So the guy who started doing that probably quit. So this one was bad luck. So I decided to do it by myself. It's just running container with new gem set. So I decided like easily, what if I just put new version of Rails that I need to the gem set, run Docker again, it's gonna be working. The whole tonight we spent running it. That was the reason why I didn't join you guys. It's the same photo even. Yeah, I came to my home. That was the photo from laying me under the blanket. It wasn't complete. So I put my laptop, I fall down to sleep. It was like after the midnight. I got up almost in the morning, and that's what I've seen. Probably, yeah, sorry for the bad resolution, but it's all dots with resolving dependencies from bundler. Didn't work at all. So I decided, okay, this is not gonna work. Let's try to do it again. So this time, no Lord of the Darkness. Like, keep the whole thing really seriously. Don't joke with me. Like, that's again another rule. It went pretty well. So, this one, the next one, sorry. It went pretty well. We started doing, real business. So here is the gem file log. I've asked him to log every step because not to lose what we've done before. I've asked him to do like, before you give me next answer, increment the last number from the advice. So we keep tracking your steps and my actions one after one. So we keep the whole things consistently. It worked good. So I would say like, you see like step one, more stuff. Okay, here's the last steps. So he started losing context. The main problem is that after some messages, there is no chance for you to rewind back which issues we solved already, what was the approach, and how to share this context. That was like the very bad things for ChatGPT. And I decided to take more engagement. So I said like, okay, maybe I can help him a little bit. And I've suggested if we need to update gem file, the gem file is simple. What is the best way you can suggest me to update the gem file? And that was the solution from ChatGPT. Let's identify all gem versions for every gem in a gem file. So in this case, we will resolve all the dependency instead of bundler. And bundler update is going to be smooth and easy. And we have exactly what we need in the Docker container. I said, like, it's a good idea. That's like a perfect solution. That's what I need. I handle everything else. Just give me versions. And ChatGPT gave me versions based on my previous gem file log for the new versions, gems that I need to maintain. So here was my gem file. So all with specific versions, very nice. I looked like, wow, that's cool. It looks really nice. Nice and easy. We started running it again. Dependencies are going like really faster, so no need to like wait overnight. But
here you go, you deserve it.
Thank you. Yeah, very good. So, but we got the first real Rails 3.2 upgrade issue. And that was kind of funny because we had those gems conflicting first. No applause? And here we go. How to fix it. And ChatGPT wasn't good. Saying, if you're struggling with those gems, they seem something one in common. It's easy to identify. And if you want to get it, you want to get one guy who knows how to deal with stuff, right? Go there and debug it. Give him some applause. It was really like real gems from my file. Gotcha. Now, that was not the first issue. The first issue was really that. When I updated the gem file and got exceptions, as you can see, the gem version had a typo. I didn't expect to get typos from ChatGPT. So as you can see on the left-hand side, 1.04. So the dot in between is missing. When you fix it and start like building it again, you get bundler exception because, again, the gem is not found. The gem is not found. ChatGPT suggested to update from 1.4 to 1.10. And if you go to Ruby gems, you see this version does not exist. So I've spent like a couple of days having all those funny gems versions that were just, guessed by ChatGPT. So it's fake versions. So as soon as you start building it, you're getting new version of gem. You go to Ruby gems again. Act as a 3281, act as a 3280, and then 290. There is no this version. Turbo SP Rockets Rails. ChatGPT suggested to start with 03. It started with 1. So 2 weeks. And at the end, I had no idea what I'm doing with this guy. He's fun. A lot of things work nicely. Like I run Docker. I have like console output constantly giving me some data, but no result. And I didn't go further. So that was like enough. And that was the fail. And and if you really think about like ChatGPT replace real engineers, no, it's not going to happen. Maybe in this particular version, maybe in the next couple of years. I don't know what's going to be happening, but at this stage, it's not going to be working. What was good though? Interpreting error messages was brilliant. I never looked State Overflow. I give ChatGPT all the output, and it handpicks you the issues. It says like, this gem is wrong. Go to Nick, for example. And overall, he's very good in like guidance, as me on the presentations. Like he says, like, yeah, it's not an easy task. Like you need to read a lot of materials. What was bad? It doesn't keep context. Context, I mean, if we have like a strategy for upgrade, we need to follow a number of steps. It changes steps based on my new input, even though I asked to keep the context and to keep the strategy we decided. It doesn't provide precise information. So again, that was asked, provide only those gems that you know exist. It started guessing. For some gems, it works. For some gems, it's not. And ChatGPT never asks you questions. That's very bad, because before you start or when you're doing something, Chat needs to get more information from you. Otherwise, you give to Chat only information that you own, and it could be really limited. I have no idea how to properly upgrade from 3.2 to 4. And so the last one. I don't know if you've seen this one. Have you guys seen Mona Lisa from ChatGPT? I wanted to be first to show you. So if you go and ask ChatGPT to draw you Mona Lisa with any kind of a JavaScript code. And, have you heard that ChatGPT is degraded a little bit? Yeah, okay, let's test it out. So here comes ChatGPT Mona Lisa. Thank you. That's the end. Your questions are welcome.
Hello. So first question: Have you tried the suggested solution to context limiting, which is summarize this conversation and then you put the summary into a new ChatGPT window, because this seems to preserve the context quite good.
I don't know what happened with 4 version. I repeated my questions and I asked, even like within the chat, not to summary, but like I copy and paste what I've asked, and it lasted for like a couple of new messages or threads. I've copied it into new chats, the same. So the context is losing constantly.
Okay, and how big the context window did you use?
11 steps I have. So
Okay.
11 steps in like 4 hours. Some kind of, with the limit of 25 messages. So I never reached it out.
All right, thanks.
Question?
Yeah.
When will you be emotionally and morally prepared to repeat your experiment in future?
We decided to take some time for us.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna change my status on Facebook. I'm open to new AI assistant.
I think on the previous slide you have answered. Just scroll back and you see search in.
Oh. This one? This one?
One more.
This one?
In your presentation,
Oh,
go back to your presentation and you did search.
this one.
Yeah, and there is like within 10 years.
Gotcha.
Anybody else? Question? There is.
So let's say that you have a junior in your company. Would you recommend him to use the ChatGPT for like learning and solving the stuff, or to keep the Stack Overflow and Google?
Definitely, I would recommend to use ChatGPT, because if before people were afraid that ChatGPT will limit your thinking abilities, now because you need to filter and validate, you need to you're gonna learn. So it's a very nice, training system, because you never know, is it correct version of GEMS or not? It might work, might not. Who knows?
Maybe I can answer. It's good to add, for example, the pilot. It really helps for junior developers, especially in Ruby when you need to connect data. Just describe and but yeah, you need to check.
But don't you think that when ChatGPT suggests you a solution, that you start thinking about alternatives, so you might miss better option and only think about crappy things that ChatGPT?
Ideal case would be if chat asks me questions to validate the level of my knowledge and experience, and then offering me back solutions that first level, within level of my competence, if I want, or expanding level of my competence. Because, for example, if I operate only with know-how solutions, I'm not going to learn, right? So that's what I did, and that's a deadloop. And if I gave back the level of my competence, and ChatGPT could potentially assess it, he said, like, you're junior developers, I'm not going to teach you how to build, core Debian image or something, for example. I bet it's just a couple of weeks or a month that it's working wrong. I don't know, because it used to do like good job. And that was the reason for me to have this topic, because I was really positive that it's going to be like easy peasy work. And it's up and running. It didn't work. So I think we're limited, right? So I'll be happy to answer all your questions, guys, for a cup of beer. So once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.